Welcome back tonight. I'm telling you, this is I tell you, we got a lot of wealth of information. I want you to call people to let them know tonight that we're on and what we're talking about, scams and con games. This is what we're spending our time. I have my guest detective here talking about that tonight, Detective Cremer. He's my detective at the Williamston Police Department. Well, I'm the chief of police at the Williamston Police Department. And so we're talking about these con games and these kind of things. We really want to shed some light on that and to help you not to become a victim. And if you have become a victim, we want you to understand, don't be ashamed. Look, notify your local agency, your local authority, and I'm sure they will help you with that matter. At the end of the show tonight, we're going to talk about some things that you're going to need if you've been a victim, some things that you'll need where you can have that stuff together when you go notify your local police department. Now, I want to talk just a little about the prayer vigil, Saturday, January the 2nd. Right here at the TV station. The time is from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., hosted by Pastor Bill and Neil Montgomery. And for information, you can call 864-244-1616. Let's pray together for our families, community, and nation. And that's January the 2nd. That's this Saturday. And so we're gonna want you to do that as well. We're gonna want you to do that. So, you know, one of the things I want to tell you is that, you know, Satan has all kind of tricks. And when we talk about con games and all, you know, the enemy wants to deceive us. He wants to deceive us and to think that he's for us when he's really against us. But we know that God is for us, and he gives us wisdom and insight. And we believe tonight that God is using us as a tool here at TV 16 is to give you some wisdom and to give you insight, because, you know, God uses people. He uses people just like us. He uses law enforcement. He uses people, you know, in any profession. He will use you. And so we're going to take the skill set that we have, and we just want to be a blessing to you tonight. And we want you to know that we believe this is what ministry is about. You know, it's not just about talking about Jesus, but it's about actually putting it into action. And we want to shed some revelation on some things tonight to help you. Now we're going to go to Elaine Mitchell Jones with a song called Happy.
Anybody happy out there? Put your hands together for Jesus. You make me happy. You make me whole. You take the pain away. I'm so in love with you. You make me happy. You make me whole. You take the pain away. I'm so in love with you. Let me hear you say you. You make me happy. You make me whole. You make me whole. You take the pain away. Take the pain away. I'm so in love with you. I said you make me happy. You make me whole. You take the pain away. I'm so in love with you. 'Cause everything about you is right. Your covers all my wrong. Your life saved my life. 'Cause everything about you is right. Well, your covers all my wrong. Your life saved my life. With you is where I belong. I belong to you. I belong to you. You, Lord, you make me happy. You make me whole. You take the pain away. I'm so in love with you. I said you make me happy. You make me whole. You take the pain away. I'm so in love with you. 'Cause everything about you is right. Your covers all my wrong. Your life saved my life. 'Cause everything about you is right. Your covers all my wrong. Your life saved my life. 'Cause everything about you is right. Your covers all my wrong. Your life saved my life. With you is where I belong. I live to worship you. Forever you and me. I'm so in love with you. I can't make it without you. Oh, I live to worship you. Forever you and me. I'm so in love with you. I can't make it without you. Lord, I live to worship you. Forever you and me. I'm so in love with you. I can't make it without you. Lord, I live to worship you. Forever you and me. I'm so in love with you. Lord, I can't make it without you. I live to worship you. Forever you and me. Oh, it's forever. Bless the Lord. Amen.
We had a little technical difficulty, but you know what? We happy. We happy. We gonna be happy anyway. So I tell you, she was just going to whoop. She said, "Oh well, I'm happy." She went on to go ahead and sing anyway. A little technical difficulty sometimes. Sometimes that happens, but we're gonna move right along. She's gonna be back to bless us with some more in a little bit. Okay, so y'all stand by for her as well. I had somebody call in and ask me, what church do you pastor? I don't pastor a church. Currently, chiefing is my ministry. Currently is what I'm doing, and when God opens the door, I'll do it. You know, but right now that's what I'm doing. So I wanted to answer that. And I tell you, get these prayers. You know, continue to call in tonight. We got people in need tonight. There's a gentleman that needs a home. He's disabled and needs a home. There's some people need urgent prayer from some sickness and some things that are going on. And so we just want to believe God with you that God is a good God. And you know, the Bible tells us that, you know, it's the faith. We just have to have the faith, and we have the faith, and we receive by faith. We receive by faith. So I want you to receive that healing tonight. You know, receive what you need tonight, and you receive it by faith. The Bible talks about childlike faith. You just receive it. A lot of times I think we just try to figure things out. And I know me personally, I just try to be, you know, you try to figure stuff out. And I tell you what, you can just get jacked up trying to figure stuff out. Sometimes you just got to just roll with it. You got to just flow with it. And sometimes you're going to go through some stuff. But remember, the key word is you're going through. It's not the end, you're going through. And sometimes we go through stuff, but we come out on the other side, because if God is for us, who can be against us? So I want to encourage you tonight that whatever you're going through, you know, understand that you're not alone. Understand that. You know, that you have the power of the Holy Spirit, that He's with you, that He'll never leave you nor forsake you. God our Father, and I call Him my daddy, He is with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you, that He's always there with you in the midst of your storm. Okay, so I want you just to understand that tonight. And we just believe, God, that you have what you need, and it's already in you through Jesus Christ. That He has the victory, His power is already there for you, okay? You know, and one thing I love about it is not whether I've been good. He's not like Santa Claus, you know, because Santa Claus is you better not cry, better not pout, you know, and all that kind of stuff. You know, have you been good? You know, He knows when you've been sleeping and all that kind of stuff. But see, God is good. He's a good God. You know, He don't hold stuff. You know, sometimes, George, we hold things against each other. I thank God that He don't hold stuff against me. I can tell you right now, because if He did, I'd be in trouble. I'd be in trouble. So God's not holding anything back from you. He's not saying, well, you've been bad, I'm not gonna bless you, because the truth and reality is you're already blessed. The truth and the reality is you're not trying to get blessed, you're already blessed, okay? All right, so I just want to just encourage you just a little bit. I want to just talk with you and just encourage you just a little bit in that arena. Now, we're going to get back to our cons and con games and schemes. And I think what we're going to talk about a little bit is talk about charity giving, because we know when we had the flood, when we had the flood here several months ago, telephones started ringing off the hook. You know, these kind of things. And so, you know, there are some fake charities out there, and these are some con games and schemes that people will use these charities. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about charity giving.
What I've seen and experienced on my own, let's just talk about, and I don't have the Scrooge list that's printed every year in the newspaper, where you give a certain amount of dollars and only a couple pennies out of that dollar goes to the proper cause. But let's talk about some of these other people standing on the intersections with buckets out, taking money for churches that don't exist, preying on people's good feelings, goodwill. There are organizations that are awesome. I give to several. My advice on that sort of thing, again, would be to contact either the State Attorney General's office. There are several sites on the internet that you can go to, .gov places, that you can see if the charities are worthy or if they really exist. But be leery about giving out that check or that money if you don't know where it's going. I mean, people prey on good people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do, and it's a whole scheme. And my advice is, if you don't know that charity, don't give. I mean, if you don't have a connection, a relationship with that charity, don't give. And especially when people cold call.
Yeah.
You know, when people cold calling, that should be an indicator, you know, when people cold call, I just hang up the phone.
If a charity is legitimate, in my opinion, and you are leery of giving them money, but you want to, they will understand that you want to check them out. They'll call back some other time. They'll send you the information in the mail to allow you time to investigate whether they're a legitimate cause. We've done that. I've had phone calls from, and I told you I wouldn't use some names tonight, from very large organizations in this state that I do support. Not quite sure about the phone calls, and I explained that over the phone, who I was, and they said, please check us out. And when I say check somebody out, this goes for emails, phone calls, filling out an application. Look the phone number up yourself. If I send you a letter that says I'm the IRS, or if we're talking charities now, if I'm, I don't want to use any names, but if I'm a particular charity, and I put the phone number on there for you to call, or my website on the paperwork to call, of course there's someone going to be in the other end of that phone, and they're going to tell you whatever you need to hear to send me the money, or send them the money. Do the research yourself, or don't send the money.
But, you know, a lot of times what they do is they do pressure calling.
High pressure tactics.
They do high pressure tactics, so they want to get it right then. They don't want. No, we're legitimate. We you know, you can check the Better Business Bureau. They give us a 5-star rating or whatever, you know, whatever the context is, and they want to put this high pressure on you. And I think that should be a red flag when this high pressure sales.
You know, I've gotten people. I've had fire departments come to the door when I moved my new house, and didn't recognize anybody, and the new kid didn't have his identification on him. And I just said, time out. Come back, let me check you out. I've had other salespeople come to my door, and it's do it now, give it to me now, I got to have it now. And I usually run them out of the neighborhood. Yeah,
when they do the high pressures thing. So, you know, when looking at these charities, and a lot of times I would tell you too, is just go ahead and get you a list of charities you can give to, you know. Go ahead and investigate and find some charities, local charities or organizations, or it could be international organizations, but do your homework, and then you just give those charities. Now, let's talk about sweepstakes. We had a lady call in and say that she had won a car. I believe she had won a car, and they wanted her to send $300. She had won a sweepstakes. So let's talk about sweepstake ripoffs, scams.
If it sounds too good, it's not. And if you're got to give money to get money, don't do it.
Wait a minute. Now, I got to pay taxes on this car.
Oh, you do, but you're going to contact the IRS later. They're going to call you. Your tax lady's going to tell you how much you owe them. They're not going to tell you up front to pay the taxes. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing these checks going out, and I've got a half a dozen cases on my desk right now that citizens are getting checks in the mail saying, you've won $1 million. We're sending you $3,900 in advance to pay the taxes. Put this in your bank account, call us to activate it. What they want you to do is cash the check, send them money back. You'll never hear from them again.
Now, wait a minute, let's back up, rewind. Rewind.
All right.
The man gives me a $39,000 check.
All right.
A $39 check is printed out, it's inked out and everything. I take it to my bank. My bank look at it and say, okay, we're going to deposit this $39,000 check. But now I got to draw $1,500 or $2,000 to send back To pay the taxes,
That's right.
or
That's what the ruse is.
Okay.
Is they want you to send the money in advance for the taxes before they send the winnings to you. Now,
So-
anytime you've got to pay for winnings, you got to pay for in advance. It's a scam.
So now I deposit this check.
Oh, this is what it gets ugly.
I get my $2,000 because I'm gonna pay these people because I'm gonna get my $100,000. They done sent me $39,000 now.
Oh yeah.
And all I got to do is pay them $2,000, a percentage or whatever. So I deposit the $39,000 check.
Whatever the check is, you deposit it.
I pull $2,000 out. I go and do I give them money or do I wire it?
Some of them want it wired. Some want green dot cards. Some of them want the Visa cards. Some of them just want you to mail a cashier's check.
Okay, so I do all that. So I'm good. I had 39. I got $37,000 in the bank because all I did was cash, and I got $2,000 out of it. So that gives me $37,000. I'm in the good, right?
Well, here's where the problem comes in.
Okay, where does the problem come in at?
And these checks are so well done from major organizations. I had one this morning I looked at. The check was so legitimate, I carried it in person to the organization so I could identify myself and show them who I was. And it took him a few moments looking at the check to realize that wasn't from his company.
So what happens now when the bank gets it and the bank processes it? What happens?
You are out the money. Immediately, you're out the money. Now, we can work on the case. We'll try to investigate it. We'll try to find out who it is.
So I sent $2,000.
That's out of your account.
That comes out of my account, and the check was bogus.
Right. And if you didn't find out the check was bogus first, you're the first name on my list as a suspect for bringing in a counterfeit check from some large company. And that's bad for you. And you've been victimized twice because I'm on your doorstep asking you questions about where did you get this counterfeit check? Did you make it? Did someone give it to you? And you're telling me you got it from a sweepstakes.
Now,
I'm dealing with this a lot.
A clue, and let me talk camera, a clue. If you didn't enter the sweepstakes and somebody send you a check and says you won a sweepstakes and you hadn't entered the sweepstakes, that ought to be a clue, right?
Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you another scam, and I've seen this. Individuals, father died, had insurance with a particular company. He got a check with that company's name on it. Same scam. The check looks legitimate. My victim, because he's been victimized before, brings the check to me. I do the research. The only difference is he's preying on his heartstrings about his daddy. He almost put that check in the bank before researching it first.
And what's it going to have to do, send him some money back or something?
Yeah, that's exactly right. They'll contact him later to get money back from him or tell him the check was wrong and he owes the money back. Then he ends up losing money twice.
So those are some of the things that they do. Now, I know people have come across this, and probably some people are probably embarrassed, but, you know, it's nothing wrong with you calling your local authorities and explaining to them that because we don't want other people to go through the same thing.
Right. And there's always a chance that we can make a case or find out who it is. But if it's not reported, well, we can't do anything.
Well, this lady that won the car, is there processing fees that maybe $300 processing fee for the shipping and handling of the car?
Well, the first question is, where did you enter the car, for the car? If you've never entered the sweepstakes, you got to ask the people calling you or contacting you how they got your information. And once you've already contacted them, unless you've sent them a check, there's really not much we can do. But what I feel good about what we're doing tonight is I'm telling you in advance, if you get these notices, throw them away. If you didn't enter the contest, throw it away. Yeah. Don't pay money to win something. Don't pay money in advance.
That's it in a nutshell.
That is it.
I mean, if it's a legitimate organization, then they're not going to be telling you to pay anything.
Right, and they're going to work with you. They're going to help you. They're going to give you the information. They're going to mail you the information. They're going to send contact information. But when you get these strange checks or strange information that says, you've won, send me money, stop. And if you're not sure, contact somebody in your family. Or
How often
somebody.
do you handle investigations like that?
I'm handling cases like this on an average of 4 to 5 a week. And this is just in our little jurisdiction. Now, I deal with the county and several other small towns, and all us detectives get together and we talk about these different cases. They're dealing with hundreds. And then I'm sure all these other counties in upstate and other states are dealing with hundreds. So we're like thousands and thousands of these cases just within 3 or 4 states.
And then think about how many are going unreported.
Well, quite a few. Quite a few go unreported.
of how many. Now, you talked about green dot cards. Now, when we come back, we're going to be leaving just shortly to hear another song here. But when you start talking about green dot cards, you talked about green dot cards, you talked about money orders, and we're going to talk a little bit about that when we come back, how that works with the green dot cards and different things like that, because we find a lot of these guys are doing green dot cards, and we want to talk about that just a little bit and how that operates. So when we come back, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the Nigerian letter, because I've even got those on emails at work. I get all kind of emails at work. This crazy people from Germany, just all kind of emails. That comes through my work emails.
Yes.
So you're liable to get all types of emails and people that are asking, that are pleading for different things. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well.
All right.
You know, so look, we want you to call in if you got a question, if we can help you with it. We want you to call in tonight. We'll try our best to help you with it. We're always going to point you back to your local law enforcement agency to help you with it. At the end of the show tonight, we're going to be telling you what you need to do, how you prepare to take something to your local agency, the things that you need to have. Now, we're going to go to Elaine Mitchell Jones, and she's going to sing a song called I Will Find My Way.
When I have to say, Lord, order my steps. You said that the steps of a righteous man are ordered. You said they're ordered of the Lord, and I need you You see, I need you to take control. I need you to take control, 'cause I've got to find my way. You see, I've got to find my way. Oh, yes, I do. In His Word, today, today, today. I'm a father. Oh, take my hand. Lead me, guide me to your promised land. Today, today, today. Lord, I've got to. Oh, I've got to find my way. I've got to. Oh, today, today, today. I'm a father. Oh, take my hand. Lead me, guide me. I've got to find my way. I've got to find my way.
Thank you very much for that lovely song. And we want to thank you for calling in tonight, because this is part of what we're here for. What we believe we're here for tonight is to really help you tonight. And hopefully we're answering some questions tonight that you may have. We got some call-ins for the lady that I'm not going to really talk about what she's asking, but she said this happened 43 years ago. We're going to suggest that you contact an attorney. This could be a civil. We don't know if it's going to be criminal, because there's a lot of stuff here that would have to be answered and those kind of things. But we want to tell you that you probably need to contact an attorney and look at something civil in regards to that. Right. Detective Cremer, this lady wants to know what is the best way to handle the bank account concerning your bank card. And we could talk about those things. You know, we had one at a bank in Williamston where they had the scanner. So talk a little bit about that and some ways we can protect.
We've dealt with several different cases with family members that are stealing credit cards, stealing the numbers. Once you get to a certain age, you ask family members to go and handle some of your banking for you. Those numbers get compromised, the cards get compromised. Some of the banks have been dealing so many times with so many compromised cards that they're closing accounts. That's a tough question. It's a tough question because most people, when they get to a certain age, they're too proud to give up some of that power, or they don't have anyone they can trust. And that's a tough one to answer.
Yeah, because a lot of times what happens is, in situations like that too, is when it becomes a family member, they don't want to prosecute.
Right.
And that's a big thing that we see a lot of times, especially with our elderly. Their credit card gets compromised, and it's that son or that daughter or their grandson. And once they find that out, they don't want to talk to us about it. They don't want to prosecute because it's a family member. But that thing's been compromised now. It may go to somebody else on the street and those kind of things.
They've got to report it. They've got to report it to the bank and close the account down. Now, you mentioned scammers and things. There are several groups of con artists running around the country today, and they set cameras up on ATM machines. They set them up at gas stations where they have the card slots, and they have the little machines that actually read the cards. They buy them from the same companies that make them the card readers for the banks and the gas stations. And when you go in and you run your card through and you punch in your little code, they're getting all that information, and it's being transmitted to some guy in a car, or it's being recorded. And we have ourselves pulled and worked with Secret Service on that on a case like that's scanned over 3 or 4 different states. My advice is do what I do. When you go to put your card in the machine at the gas pump or at the bank, tug on it. If it comes loose or it doesn't seem right, don't use it. And the cameras are very small. They're tiny pinhole cameras. They're put up with small pieces of very machined, very professional-looking pieces of plastic. Most of these machines, when you go to these ATM machines, if all the surfaces aren't perfectly smooth, look twice to see if you're being recorded. The one we pulled off the machine in town at a particular bank, was so, it followed the frame of the machine, and it was just slightly rose, maybe a half inch.
Yeah.
And if you really weren't thinking about it, you wouldn't have, in fact, no one did. The guy was caught when he tried to retrieve it, and then we ended up with it. But my advice is you want to look at those things. You want to look who's looking over your shoulder when you're at the bank and you're punching in your code. If your card number gets compromised and they have that PIN or the number, they can get right on the internet and start ordering stuff.
Yeah, and we've had some situations too where if a person was sick, an elderly person was sick, and someone signed on as the provider, caregiver, those kind of things, they had access to their banking information, and they went out and got loans and different things like that as well.
That happens a lot.
That happens a lot too, as well as a caregiver may get a hold of that information. Someone called and said they lost $80,000 home because of a scam. So what do you suggest we tell this individual?
This is a limited amount of information, and my advice on this would be to contact your local jurisdiction or an attorney or both, and explain to an officer or detective at length, because this looks like this is going to take a while to explain all of what took place for you to lose your money. But you're going to have to make those reports and reach out to your authorities first, so someone can help you if they can help you.
Yeah, because there's a lot of paperwork. And a lot of times, these mortgages, like even reverse mortgages, there are some legitimate reverse mortgages, but there are also some scammers out there.
That's right. They'll take your home and leave you with nothing.
Right.
So you have to be careful.
Yeah, and even with mortgages, you may start out with a low interest, and then it goes up to a very high absorbent, revolving interest, and some of those things are not quite on the up and up. So what you would need to do is bring your contract, bring all the paperwork information. Hopefully the authorities in your local jurisdiction may do a background on that particular company or that person or whoever you dealt with, that kind of thing. But I would say really right now you probably need to look at really going to your local law enforcement agency, and you have to sit down with somebody and take them step by step.
Absolutely.
With that. Here's one. Someone is given an address to their bill collectors, and we are receiving their bills. And so I don't know if the bills are coming in that person's name or it's actually somebody else's name. The bills are coming in their house.
I've never seen that one before. That's a new one for me.
You know, unless the bills are coming in that person's name at that address.
If they're using your name and you're getting an additional bill, that's fraud. That's identity theft. Something can be done. If you're just receiving the mail, I don't understand why the post office isn't assisting you in just eliminating that mail from your box. And you can always contact the postal inspector. I've worked with their office quite often with white-collar crime. See a lot of jurisdictional assistance from them. My advice would be to contact the postal inspector himself and see what they can do to help you out on that case. But
and they have I know Greenville has a postal inspector.
Oh, great guys.
You know, I don't know what area you're in, but you need to contact. Now this right here is one that says an auctioneer sold items and never paid me for them. So you got somebody auctioning off things. They want to know is there a statute? This happened 2 years ago. You got somebody auctioning off things, and they sell them, and they never give you your money. They never.
That's criminal. Yeah, something can be done about that. You need to contact your local jurisdiction, file a report. Any information you have on the items that were sold or auctioned, you'll need that information in your photographs, serial numbers. Yes, something can be done. There's no statute of limitations in South Carolina on these crimes, and some of the other states there are. So again, since this spans over several states, my advice would be to contact your local jurisdiction and find out what legal rights you have in those states. But I would do a report if this was in my jurisdiction.
Yeah, so you know, if you want to call in, if you got some more things, maybe we'll try to help you, try to point you in the right direction. Now let's talk about this letters, because I get not just Nigerian letters, but I get letters from Germany, you know, emails from Germany about, you know, just all kind of crazy stuff. So let's talk about how does this work? And just talk a little bit about a case that
I promise not to use names.
Right, names.
I do know of a gentleman who received first email from a Nigerian prince that was trying to flee the country with millions of dollars and needed to hide that money here in the United States. And the first part of the scam is usually to get your banking information so you can turn around and lose all your money out of your bank to this person who will never meet you. The other one is they'll convince you to meet them with cash in hand. And
Now, why would I meet
it.
them with cash in hand?
Well, they want to see that you're honest and that you aren't just going to steal their money. They're going to give you money to help them, but they want to see your money to make sure.
How much
that you're
money are we
legit.
usually talking about
Oh,
in these
it
scams?
could be anywhere from a couple of grand to $30,000. It could be a lot of money.
But how much money am I going to get back from
Oh,
this?
you could get $1 million, $2 million from these supposed filthy rich people. This scam's been going on, I know of at least 12, maybe 15 years, and it still works today. People get these emails, and let's talk about email for a moment.
Okay.
If you don't know who's sending you the email, don't open it. Opening an email to see what it is could release viruses, malware. They could follow you. They can control your computer. They can get all your personal information. They could ruin your life just by you opening the email to see what's going on. And this type of email, they want your information more than anything. And if they can't get it, they'll try to convince you to meet them with cash in hand so they can take it from you.
So, okay. So I got this guy that contacts me via email, and he says he's got $1 million. He's a prince or something.
That's right.
And he's leaving the country.
Yeah,
And
he's trying to hide from, he wants to get it out of Nigeria and bring it to the United States so he can live free.
Okay. So how do I help him out?
He wants your bank account so he can hide the money.
Oh, he can put the money.
He's going to put the money in your account from Nigeria.
Okay. So the deal is, I know it sounds, but you have people doing this,
Yes,
right?
no, it's so popular.
So I go borrow, say, $10,000.
And you open up a nice big account, and then they turn around and get your information to ship the money in, and
and then they take your money
they
out.
take every penny of it.
Because you was telling me about a case where a guy took $30,000 from Anderson to Greenville.
And he met with a guy in a lobby, and they were supposed to put their money together to show good faith, and his money's gone.
He's out of 30 grand. And this happens to good, trusting people?
Yes, it does. Good people.
I mean, good people is, good people.
It's
Somebody's
greed.
trying to help.
It's greed. It's just that simple. And my dad used to tell me, and we've been talking about it all night, you're not going to get anything for free in this world. There's always a hook. There's a catch. You see big dollars. You see an opportunity to make money. It seems legitimate. And what kills me is these scams, some of this stuff that we're talking about, it's been going on for so many years. I can't believe people are still falling for it. And you've reminded me this morning, it's not a matter of falling for it. It's just a matter of being a little naive and hoping in the time when you need help or money. And these scam artists come in and they have a great bill of sale, and they're convincing and they're charismatic. And the next thing you know, you're giving them money. In fact, I've got one case where a woman met a guy on a good Christian site.
Okay, on a website.
On a website. They conversed they emailed each other for six months or better. And his sob story was terrible. He just needed money. He couldn't get home, couldn't get to his job. So she volunteered to give him money. He didn't even ask for it. She volunteered to give him money. Mm-hmm. And the story kept getting worse, and she kept giving him more money. And then she came into the office one day, and she said she'd lost over $5,000 and couldn't pay her rent. And we sat down and talked. And, you can't make a case against a guy who doesn't even ask. Mm-hmm. He just convinces her by being charismatic, never met the woman, and she gave him all of her money.
And she did that over
a
transfers, over a period of time.
That's right. She did transfers. She did.
Let's talk about the green dots, because maybe she used some green dots or whatever.
And we're not picking on green dots.
No. But what is the green dot card, and why do criminals prefer the green dot card?
They're prepaid credit cards, and you can go anywhere and get one. You pay a fee for the card, you get the card, and then you can make a purchase online or go to the store or use it as a gift card, give it to a friend. Mm-hmm. We'd had the one lady with the card, the $300 in advance. Well, I can't use the company name. I had a company that offered up $1 million in sweepstakes, but wanted her to pay the taxes in advance, just like we talked about earlier, but wanted to use the green card. And the idea behind that is you give them the numbers over the phone to verify the card, and then you never hear from them again. Because
Right.
once they get the numbers on the card, they can access
So
it.
in
and
the
it's
green
gone.
dot card, is it not traceable or something? Is that why they choose
Well,
to use a
it's
lot of
just quick
times?
money.
It's quick money.
It's just quick money,
So,
and before you can stop it, they've got your money.
and so a lot of times it's just dealing with people that are naive.
Yes.
Dealing with people, sometimes, like you say, greed could be an issue.
And you think you're going to make a lot of
You
money.
don't think
You
you're going to
can.
make a lot of money. But these guys are convincing.
Very.
You know, very convincing that they're going to give you. They build that trust, that confidence, and then they whammy. They do the whammy, and they get whatever money they get because it's quick
And you
money,
never see them
and
again.
then you never see them again. Because a lot of times they're not even in this country, right?
Right.
They're not. And if it's a big deal, I know I saw a special on 48 Hours or something that they showed the guy actually coming here to Greenville to one of our hotels, and he had built the woman out of thousands and thousands of dollars on
Yes.
some of the same schemes.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about some more before we close tonight. But Elaine Mitchell Jones is gonna sing a song called "Smile."
Here's my worship. Take joy in it. Make it a dwelling place. I want to put a smile on your face. I present my heart to you. I present my life to you. Here's my worship smile. Here's my life, Lord, smile. Here's my worship smile. Here's my life, Lord, smile. Will you help me say?
Here's my worship smile.
Here's my life, Lord.
Here's my life, Lord, smile.
Here's my worship.
Here's my worship smile.
Here's my life, Lord.
Here's my life, Lord, smile.
Here's my worship.
Here's my worship smile.
Oh, here's my life,
Here's
Lord.
my life, Lord, smile.
Here's my worship.
Here's my worship smile.
Here's my life, Lord.
Here's my life, Lord, smile.
Oh, how many of you out there say, Lord, I just want to make you happy. I want to make you smile all the days of my life, Lord. Hey, smile. Hey, I want to make you smile.
Make you smile.
I want to make you smile. Hey, I got to, hey.
Wanna make you smile.
I wanna make you smile. Hey, here's my life, here's my worship. Smile. I wanna make you smile. I got to. Hey, smile.
Wanna make you smile.
I wanna make you smile.
Wanna make you smile.
I got to make you smile.
Make you smile.
Hey.
Wanna make you smile. Wanna make you smile.
I wanna make you smile.
Wanna make you smile.
I got to. Hey, here's my life. Here's my worship. I wanna make you smile. I wanna make you smile. Hey, come on. I present my heart to you. I present my life to you.
I present my
Oh,
heart to you.
Lord, I present
I present
my life
life to you.
to you. Hallelujah.
I tell you, that was very touching. I tell you, hopefully you're going to be coming back and going to be blessing us with some more songs here on Nightline in the near future, very near future. So you had a call come in about a 91-year-old with a Lowe's card. So just talk about that just for a minute.
We're limited on the information on the card, but let me just give this information out. I don't know if the card was compromised or if they're trying to use the individual's card. All these things are illegal. You need to file a police report in your jurisdiction first. Contact Lowe's, stop the card and its use. You can do that. It's your card. And if you need another card issued, get one. Now, 91, you're going to have probably someone give you a hand with that. Get a family member. Get someone younger. If not, maybe you've got some friend that can help you contact these places. But the big thing is to do something. You've got to help yourself. You got to help us to help you. And it's a horrible crime that people pray like this. But there is something you can do, and you should do it.
Yeah. And this is one of the things I want to say. I think any chief or any sheriff would tell you, if you feel that it may be criminal, there's nothing wrong with you picking up that phone and have an officer come to your house.
I've told
have
thousands
that
of
officer
people.
call 911.
Absolutely.
Have that officer come to your house. I think a lot of times they think when they call 911 that they don't want to tap that line. That's not important, but that's what 911 is there for. It's not, for us, an issue, a criminal act is a criminal act, and they know how to sort through and prioritize calls.
And the dispatchers will do that.
Yeah.
If it's not, they'll ask you, is it an emergency or not? If it's not an emergency, they're going to transfer you to the non-emergency line, and then they're going to get your information, and then one of us will come to your house.
Right, so call 911. If you got somebody there, you feeling uncomfortable, they're a stranger, they're a door-to-door salesman, those kind of things, don't wait after the fact to call the police. Go ahead and call us and get us out there and let us assess the situation.
I've told people for years, if you call us and we come out to your house and all we do is just meet a few people, identify them, and find out they're legitimate, then that's a great day for me. I have no reports to file, nobody to look for, and we've put somebody at ease, a taxpayer at ease. If you do this for a living, that's a good day. If you find out after the fact, after you've been victimized, you're using tax dollars. Right. Now we're working a case, and I'd rather come out before it happens and prevent it,
being proactive,
than work later on.
And that's what we're doing tonight is being very proactive.
Yeah, we want people to know
that we in law enforcement be proactive. We want people to know that these scammers are out here. And one of the things that we didn't talk about, but I'll talk about just briefly, is if you got a contractor or somebody coming to your house, or some salesman or somebody's coming to your house and everything, a lot of times they're going to try to distract you. They may get you out of the house. And they get you out of the house and they're showing you the roof and they're showing you all that. Well, there may be another individual that goes into your house and start going through your valuables and stealing your valuables and different things like that. We've had that to happen.
Yes, I've seen that a lot.
And you may never see that individual. So,
in fact, you wouldn't even know your stuff's gone.
Right, until you go looking for something and all of a sudden you can't find it. So you want to be, don't even allow these people in your home. And like I say, if you feel just uncomfortable, call a neighbor. Call someone, call a relative, call a neighbor, and if you don't have that, call 911, and an officer he will come out, and there's nothing wrong with you doing that. Now let's talk a little bit about because death is so traumatic. How do they play? You mentioned something earlier.
It's considered one of the worst crimes.
There's another thing they do if someone has died in your family. What's another scam?
They're called death ventures, and basically what they do is they play on your heartstrings, and they're going to come forward, and after someone you love has died, and they're going to knock on your door, and they're going to have a handful of bills, and they're going to say, your loved one bought these items, they made 1 or 2 payments, and you owe money on this. And they're going to want your death benefits that were there for you and protect you and your family, so you can live, and they're going to try and steal that from you. If you don't know about these bills, again, you need to call someone. You need to call the law. You need to not write them a check immediately. Find out about where the bill came from. Find out what's going on. First time I'd ever saw this was when we were doing research. I had no idea this was an issue. It's infuriating to think that you would have a loved one at the funeral parlor, and here you are being tapped for money for bills that don't even exist because Congress wants your money. So I want people to be aware that does happen, and call us.
Yeah, and I tell you, we got a lot of questions. We're not going to have a time to answer all these questions, but somebody talk about publishing house. Publishing house in itself, it may not necessarily be a scam, but you have a lot of copycats. And so they need to understand that you have
your
a lot
question came up, and they are legitimate.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate
but
organization.
you have a lot of copycats. Yeah.
But I have seen counterfeit, and I'm going to be clear about that. I've seen counterfeit checks. I've seen counterfeit information from that company, again, trying to draw pay or pre-tax or for you to pay to get your money. We've seen that happen.
And that's a red flag.
And that is an absolute red flag.
So that's what we're talking about on that. This is one about a will, and I'm not going to get in detail, but if you're looking, if it's about a will, contact you an attorney.
Please.
This will be a civil matter. If it's about a will and money being exchanged, you want to make sure you contact an attorney. All right, we're running out of time, but let's talk about if you have been a victim, how do you report this to the police? What do you need?
I'm going to go through it like the report does. The first thing I need is the location of the crime. If it didn't take place in my jurisdiction, I want you to get the right jurisdiction to make the report. Second thing would be I need all your information. Most police officers can get that off your driver's license, and then your phone number. Then I want information on the suspect. If it was in person, I need what he looks like, what his hair looked like, how tall he was, what he was driving, if he walked up to your house. Whatever you can remember about that person, I need that information. If it was by the phone, same thing. And I want to know what they left behind. Did they give you a brochure? Did they give you cards? Did they touch something in the house? Because, I'm a fingerprint guy.
Right.
Whatever I can use to develop information to find out who was in your home, I need to know that. And then we need to know what they took or what you gave them. And don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. Some of the smartest people in the world have given money to con artists. It happens. So get that information, and we'll sit down and go through it with you.
So what you're saying is we know they need their names, but we need the best description you can give of that
Absolutely.
individual. Paperwork.
Yes.
If they're giving you any kind of paperwork, we need the paperwork. We need what time did they come by your house? What time did they do the work? Did they go to the bank with you to cash the check?
That's
because
a
there
big
may
one.
be video.
That's right. Any place we can get. That's right.
I mean, if we can get video, anything like that. So there's a lot of things, but it's going to take some time. And the thing, what I want you to know, if you've been a victim, don't be discouraged because it's going to take some time. It's a process. It's not going to happen just like that. You're going to file a report. You may be sitting there an hour. You may be going through things. The guy may be asking very detailed, and you may not know those things, but be prepared to give as much information as you possibly can. Yeah.
We may not have all the information. We may have crimes or scams we've never seen before. So we have to do research. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that I've got to call other agencies and judges and solicitors to find out how to handle some cases because they're brand new. That's my job. Don't be afraid to bring it forward to us. We've got to have it, and the sooner you do it, the better. The longer you wait, the harder it is to find someone to prosecute them.
Right, and you need to bring it to. Now, let's say if I live in Greenville and the incident took place in Anderson. Let's say I met the guy on Interstate 85. I gave him money, and now he's gone. What jurisdiction?
If you call 911 and give your location, the 911 operator will tell you what jurisdiction you're in and send an officer from the right jurisdiction. That saves a lot of time and effort. If you live in the county and the crime took place in the county, then you call the county. Again, if you're confused or you're not sure, use the 911 system and explain to the dispatcher, I'm traveling, I'm not sure where I'm at, or the Star HP if you witness something on the interstate. There are different methods and ways to determine what jurisdiction. And we talked about also, not tonight, but this morning we were talking about the runaround. Even when we're investigating cases, sometimes other jurisdictions are extremely busy and you feel like you're not getting what you need and you have to be a little bit more patient. And some of these cases don't get solved, but we'll work on them as hard as we can.
Yeah, so I tell you, man, we run out of town. Talking about is it safe to purchase merchandise online?
I do.
And I purchase it online. You just got to make sure that it is a legitimate company. You got to make sure it's legitimate. Make sure that you didn't get an email saying buy stuff here and you click on that link. You want to make sure that you go ahead and you search that and make sure it's the .com or whatever that.
And it'll tell you if
email.
it's a legitimate safe site on the internet thing.
Those kind of things. And it's just all kind of things here. New Year's is tomorrow. Some of you guys may be in service, have a what we call a watch night service or service. And if you're out and if you come across a drunk driver, the best thing to do is hit star HP. You can do that. I want to just talk about that just for a minute. You want to hit star HP. If you follow the subject, follow him from a distance. And if the guy starts speeding off, you don't chase the guy. You just get as much information as you can get on that individual. You call star HP or call your 911. And I want you guys to be safe. I'll tell you, I'm excited about this new year that we're going into. And hopefully we can do more of this in different areas and those kind of things. We also have a lot of prayer requests. I've got a lady who wants prayer for her. She's disabled and her house is burned down. And she just needs some help. And right now, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time and just pray right now for all these prayer requests that we have. You want to come up, hon? You want to come up here and just join us in prayer tonight? And thank you for coming and supplying us with that music. And we're just going to pray. How about you? How about you come and just lead us in prayer tonight? And first of all, though, this lady is talking about prayer for she's disabled in a house. And I just wanted to start out prayer. Father, right now in the name of Jesus, we just believe right now that the house that was burned down, that you will restore her, Father God, and restore her in that home, and that you'll give her what she needs, because we know that you are a good God. And so we just thank you for that right now.